Hello my lovely YouTubers. So in this video we are going to do an orchid collection update. I know you guys have been itching for me to do one of these. I've been getting a lot of requests to do an orchid collection update. I haven't done one in like 2 or 3 months, something like that. So we'll go ahead and get October's out of the way, even though it's like October, I think today's the 11th. Yeah, I've been really bad about updating you guys, and to be honest, September, there wasn't a whole lot of growth. A lot of things were spiking, but not a whole lot of things were blooming. And actually, I have those things in September still in spike, no buds anywhere in sight. Like my Laelia anceps, still in spike. It's been in spike for, the dawn of age. It's no buds. I don't even know what that orchid is doing. And then my Angraecum, well, I'll show you guys. Lots of stuff in spike. Some things are getting ready to bloom, some first blooms, and then some repeat bloomers. It's just been crazy. We had our annual Orchid Society show. It was actually the first annual Orchid Society show. They did shows way back in the day, and then they stopped doing shows, and then with our new president, we had our very first Orchid Society show. So I was really excited to be a part of that, be part of the very first one. And I got to do clerking for that. I helped set up. I also got to sit in on the AOS judging, which was a lot of fun. I always learn whenever I am around, when you're around people with experience, you just sort of absorb everything that they know. And it's a lot of fun. I had a blast. Only downside, and I'm sure you guys have heard, that Charleston has been getting flooded with water. We had so much rain the weekend of my Orchid Society show that they actually canceled. I think they canceled Saturday and maybe part of Sunday. And it was a 3-day show, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And a lot of people didn't even end up coming. And I think that's because they didn't think it was going to happen, which is understandable. Everything else in the area was canceled. We had a Greek festival, we had just a bunch of things that were going on, and all of them canceled except for the Orchid Society show. That just goes to show you that if you really love orchids, you'll go through, rain and sleet and snow and lava to get to them. So for us Orchid Society members, it was no big deal, but the general public might not share the same thoughts. But it was a lot of water, a lot of roads closed, which made it impossible. And that weekend I actually went down to Orlando and I did Harry Potter World at Universal. So I've just been so busy and cleaning up the mess that the flooding left behind. My house didn't get hit too badly. I know a lot of people were without power that whole weekend, so it definitely could have been worse, but I mean, at least it wasn't cold, because even though it flooded a lot, it really wasn't that bad. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking about putting your orchids inside for the winter, and here it's been really nice. Today it's in like the high 60s, almost 70s, like 70, 71, 72. So it's been really nice, and I'm loving it. I figured today would be the perfect day to do an orchid collection update because of how nice it is. So let's get into it. So let's start with one of the orchids that surprised me the most. This is my Paphiopedilum, and honestly, I don't even want to try to pronounce it, but I'll show you guys the tag. This is whatever that is. Vavartianum, something. But it surprised the heck out of me because if you guys look right there, that is a bud. I am shocked. I never get my Paphiopedilums to do well for me, and this is actually a species orchid, so I'm just completely taken aback because most of the time the Paphiopedilums, they just end up dying in my care. So I was really excited to see this one start a little bud. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but I'm imagining it's going to take a few months before it blooms, so I will keep you guys updated. These are just some of my seedlings. This is actually a community pot. Look how big that thing is. And it does have a sheath on one of them. I don't remember which one has the sheath. Oh, there it is. See it? So hopefully in the springtime I can divide these guys up and put them in their own separate pots, and hopefully that guy will put out a bloom. I would love to see it. It is a Brassivola nodosa by Schomburgia, so this should be a really interesting, hopefully spotted flower. This is actually something I just wanted to try and see how it would do, and these guys have done really, really well on this mount. These are Brassivola nodosa seedlings, and I just decided to mount them, sort of stagger mount them, as you can see, and they've put out tons and tons of roots attaching themselves to the cork, and they're happy. They're happy little campers, and I think it looks so cool. Look at that. It's just the cutest little thing. When it fills out, it's going to look gorgeous. I've got tons and tons of new growth on pretty much everything. Lots and lots of new growth. As you can see on this bulbophyllum here, look at those little guys. The cute little new growths and roots. They're just loving life right now. But I don't have not a whole lot of spiking going on, which a lot of these are actually divisions, or they're just starting. Like these guys here, this is one of my catasetums that I got from Redlands, and it was just a small little guy, and they just recently started growth, maybe within the last few months. So a lot of these guys are either seedling size or, you know, close to seedling size, so they're not really doing much. This is my little community tray of Vanda tricolors, and then I've got some more seedlings back there. So lots and lots of seedlings and small baby little guys. Here's a little bloomer. This is Miltassia Charles M. Fitch Izumi. I am so excited to see this one bloom. Unfortunately, it only has one bud, but this is a first bloom seedling, and look how big the bud is. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It is an LC Miss Wonderful, and this is from Sunset Valley Orchids. I cannot wait to see this guy bloom. I'll keep you guys updated. Here is my very stubborn Laelia anceps. It's just so stubborn. No bloom in sight. I think with the last update I did, I told you guys it was in spike, and it pretty much looks the same. The spike hasn't gotten too much longer than the last time I did an update, which was, I think that was back in August or something. So yeah, he's still hanging in there, but man, is the spike taking forever. This is another interesting one. This is Potinara Exotic Dream Orange Passion. I'll show you guys the tag there. Exotic Dream Orange Passion. And the interesting thing about this guy was that he actually had a sheath inside of a sheath. So here was the outer sheath, and here is the inner sheath. And then inside that sheath, there are some buds. You can see the little shadow right there. So buds are coming, but that was the craziest thing to me. I haven't had that happen too many times, and I honestly can't explain it. If you guys know why Cattleyas do that, why they create a sheath within a sheath, then leave a comment down in the comment section, because I have no idea the science behind why they do that. To give you guys a better idea of what I'm talking about, because the other sheath was kind of dried, but this one, look, so sheath, and then inside that there's a sheath. I don't know if there's buds or not. I just opened this up because I was very perplexed when I looked inside and saw the little outline of another sheath, and that's just, it's weird. I don't know. This is, what is this guy? Oh, that's the grower, Lynn Spooner, and I think this is a Horus Maxima maybe? Oh no, this is, ooh, man, I'm just dropping everything. Cattleya Portia var Canizaro? And then I actually moved all of my orchids from outside to inside. So here are all of my babies inside my porch area, and I'm just going to enclose the whole porch area with plastic, have a double layer of plastic, and then I have fan and a space heater, and we're gonna see what happens. Charleston doesn't get too cold, but a lot of my guys can't handle anything below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so it'll be either a very fun experiment with great success, or I am going to have to start my collection all over again, which I don't know if I would do that, but we'll see what happens. If you guys can see this one, his little leaf is covered. There we go. That is another one of my catasetums. He had a spike and now he's spiking again. So you guys have already seen him in bloom. Okay, so I brought this guy down because I wanted to show you something really, really interesting. I've never had one of my catasetums do this. But if you look to the side, you'll see another spike. Catasetums don't usually branch, at least none of the ones that I've ever owned. They have never branched before. But this one had a little blasting at the top of the spike, which I don't know what happened with that. And then decided to create this branch off of one of the nodes and just decided to grow another spike. Now this spike doesn't have that many buds either, it just has 2, but I thought it was the craziest thing. This orchid has done really, really well in terms of growth this year, but I don't know if I was giving it enough sunlight because it has aborted one of the spikes previous to this spike. I don't know what happened with this one. It just decided it didn't want to exist anymore, dropped all of the buds. They were perfectly fat and healthy, no yellowing or shriveling or anything, just dropped the buds and shriveled its spike. So I don't know what changed in the culture to make it do that, but yeah. So anyways, I just thought I would show you this because maybe none of you have seen this happen either, so it'll be new for both of us. So I'll keep you guys updated on this one. This is just one of my no identification Cattleyas. Nothing really happening with it. It did put out these 2 buds. I have no idea what they're going to look like. The tag that I got, I picked this guy up for $10, but the tag says it'll be yellow with purple, so that should be pretty interesting. The buds look nice and healthy, so I guess I'll update you guys on this one as well. I don't even want to show you guys this orchid because it looks so pathetic. Look at that. It is so sad. I don't know if this is like a last-ditch attempt to put out a bloom, but if you look at that pseudobulb, you wouldn't even think that pseudobulb was attached to the rest of the plant. It's got roots coming out of every which way, and then right up at the top, it's got a bud. Look at that. I don't know. The sick orchid is blooming and the healthy ones aren't. What is with that? That makes absolutely 0 sense. But there you go. There is a bud. This is a Percivaliana by something else cross. I will do a video when it blooms. I think I showed this to you guys in my last update. If I didn't, I'm showing it to you now. This is my Angraecum not Germanianum, Magdalenae, and it had a bloom spike before I left to go on vacation, and when I came back it was shriveled. I have no idea what happened to it, but this would have been a first bloom for this plant because I purchased it as a seedling. I missed the first bloom. I'm so sad. But it does have tons and tons of offshoots, so I'll probably get to see those bloom hopefully next year. I figured out what I was doing wrong cultural-wise and why I was never able to get it to bloom prior to this year. So that was pretty exciting for me to, because whenever you figure out how to grow something, it's really exciting. And then it turns into a little bush. Look at it. It's just so cute. And it has tons and tons of roots coming out of every which way. I just love this plant. It's awesome. And this is my Brassolaelicatlia Husky Boy Romeo, and you can see a little shadow in there. So it looks like he's going to be blooming probably around December, which was when he bloomed last year. And he's also got, if I can get this grass out of the way, into the jungle. He's got 2 brand new growths right there at the base. So he's doing really, really well. This is a sheath on one of my Cattleyas. This is Laelicatlia Gilo Wilderness by Horace Maxima, and it has a sheath, and it's getting very fluffy. Look at the fluffy sheath. Oh, it's so fluffy. But I don't know if there's any buds in it because the spotting and reddish purple coloration makes it difficult to see inside of the sheath. So I don't know. It's puffing up, which generally indicates that it's going to put buds out, but I haven't seen anything so far. You guys know that I'm not a dendrobium person, but I am a Laturia dendrobium person. This is one of my Laturia dendrobiums. I have several other Laturias, and I just think they are the coolest section of dendrobium that you could ever grow and bloom. This is it was my very first Laturia dendrobium. It is Alexanderae by Hodgkinsonii. So I tentatively counted all of the spikes, and I have 8 spikes so far. This is the one that's the furthest along. And I'm really excited because I would love to take this guy in for judging. I think he would do really, really well. He just has really nicely shaped blooms. And most of the time he puts out quite a few blooms per spike. So I would love to take this guy in. He's just super, super bushy, and I think he would do really, really well. But I don't know. I have never had a dendrobium judged before, so I don't know. But yeah, I just love this was the dendrobium that made me fall in love with the Laturias. So if you ever get a chance to get your hands on the Alexanderae by Hodgkinsonii, I know that the Orchid Trail up in North Carolina carries this. New growth everywhere, but nothing really, like I said, nothing really blooming or spiking. It's so weird to have growth this late in the season. I don't understand why these guys feel the need to do growths when it's getting to be winter, but this is RLC Memoria Eri Harima Tugadoo. And this guy is just huge. You can tell this came off of a ginormous Cattleya because look at the pseudobulbs. They are huge. Brassocatleya Little Marmaid Janet, putting out lots of new growths. She's got new growth there. New growths everywhere. Hopefully she will bloom in the springtime because I'd like to see her blooms when they're fresh. I got her at the Orchid Society auction and she was already in bloom. So hopefully next year I'll get to see her freshly bloomed because those blooms lasted for a really long time. More Cattleyas in sheath. This Cattleya right here is a Tenebrosa Aria by Alba. So that should be a really interesting, it's so full. It is just, there's no room for the roots. So they are growing away from the rest of the plant. So I definitely need to repot this guy next year. It's generally not advised to repot or divide Cattleyas in the winter time. You usually want to do that in the springtime. So that's when I'll do that for this guy. I do have buds on my Catasetum lavena, but they're really not anything to write home about. I mean, really, why did you even try? Just don't even, why? Look at that, 3, that's so sad. But I'm probably going to cut it off just so the thing goes into dormancy already, because, I mean, come on, 3 buds, what are you thinking? Another Cattleya in bud that I didn't even know was in bud because the sheath dried, and I couldn't really tell if it was in bud or not, so I pulled it away prematurely. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. But this is my BLC green dragons. So the blooms, I'm expecting them to be like a chartreuse green color, and they're really, really big. So I'll keep you guys updated. So here is my Angraecum eburnum. I think this is Var superbum, and it is ginormous. But the spike has been growing since like June. It has just been growing for so long, and there's no sign of buds anywhere. So yeah, if you want to be patient and you like the weight that orchids give you, then definitely get this guy, because yeah, I forget it's in spike all the time until I see it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's in spike. And one of my no identification Vandas that I got at Lowe's this year, spiking again. So this guy is just insane. Look at all of these roots. Oh my goodness, they're beautiful. I love this guy. I wish he had an identification because his blooms are so, so pretty. So I'll keep you guys updated on this one as well. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this orchid collection update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one in the future. And I hope you guys will follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or all 3 if you're really awesome, because that's where I post blooming pictures of my orchids before I make a video of them. So I hope to see you guys over there. Until next time, I will see you later.